Hey, so tell me, so it was at the end of December, there
Mm-hmm.
was an airplane crash in Muan Airport in the south of Korea, and it was 179 people died and two flight attendants survived. And so it was a
Mm-hmm.
major, major catastrophe. And there was a week of mourning or a national mourning period. How many days was it?
So it was starting from that day to like 7 days. So it was 29th to January 4th.
And how was it announced? Like, how did you know? Was it just everywhere, all over the media that this?
All over the media, and the government actually declared that it's going to be the national mourning period, which means like the entire country collectively grieves for the victim of that major tragedy.
So when you say collectively grieved, what do you mean? Like what did people do?
So in terms of government act, they set up like a altar in all 70 major cities for citizens to pay like their respect. But also public officials should wear like black ribbons as a symbol of mourning. The key point here is that not only government do that, but how Korean citizens and media went like beyond these official measures to show that grief, and people just don't do what they do normally, like party or post like something goofy in their social media, or even like the entertainment programs were all shut down to show the respect.
So there are a lot of, say, like comedy shows and various channels and so on. So they those shows just didn't air that
Yeah,
week.
completely shut down. And most of the time in the broadcasting station were used to like for the news coverage for the updates, not the
Hmm.
entertainment shows at all.
Wow. Were there sporting events? But there were, but they just weren't on
And
television or
exactly, exactly. So even like the end of the year in Korea, we have like a year-end show to uh like an award show recognizing the year's
uh,
top actors, dramas, and variety shows. And it's like a thing of a family to watch that all together, like party
uh,
together. But this year that didn't happen, and it was aired like just a week ago, like end of
wow.
January. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I know the last two New Year's, Lori and I participated in the show for SM Entertainment, and
Mm-hmm.
we spoke. That's New Year's Eve also, right? All the
Exactly.
celebrations in New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Were-
So it didn't happen, and also it really reduced in scale. So in
Mhm,
the last day of December, we usually do like a bell ringing ceremony,
mhm.
which is similar to like a Times Square New Year's countdown, and it was significantly reduced in scales. And people try not to do partying, gathering up, and drinking type of things. Yeah.
Wow. So people went out to restaurants and bars and things, but it was all kind of muted, would you say?
Yeah, exactly. Like no colors kind of thing.
Wow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? So I remember reading about the one party boat that went out
Mm-hmm.
on the
Mm-hmm.
Han River and on New Year's Eve, and they, drank and had dinner and shot off fireworks, and they were then suspended. That company was suspended for 6 months or something.
Yeah, exactly. So in Korea, it seemed like people who do like the party boat thing seem really not insensitive, I mean, about like
Yeah.
how the Korea should react to this response. Like people always think of it as, what if that was our family? We shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
What if that was
So,
my friend? Mm-hmm.
wow. Okay. Okay. How many people really seriously participated? You know, I mean, when you say the whole country,
Mm-hmm.
is it really the whole country?
I mean, actually, some people would not feel that way in their mind. But the thing
Yeah.
is, everyone is watching every other. So
Yeah. Yeah.
they would not try to just express that out, like the party vote. That was like an extreme case.
Even still, maybe a lot of people don't really feel it in their hearts and mind, but it seems like most people did.
Actually did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
not the people just not posted their like everyday posts in their social media, but they
Yeah.
all posted like the griefs and sadness to the victims, really. And I noticed that like the YouTubers and content creators, they all stopped as well, even though that's like the how they made their incomes. But the the ones who did upload their videos were actually attacked from the
Mm.
comment, like how could you do that type of thing.
Wow.
Hmm.
So if they uploaded videos, YouTubers, they would have to be a video related to this.
Yeah,
So like
exactly.
in my class, for example, if I'm making a social 18 video for
Hmm.
Korea, it
Hmm.
better it would need to be really addressing the
uh
mourning period and
hmm Morning period, but like other topics related to current affairs, that's fine, but not like the
got you.
media thing and entertaining thing, everyone laughing. That's inappropriate.
Got you. Okay.
Hmm.
Hey, how is this? How do you explain this? I mean, I have my explanation for it, but, and, I'm going to have my students talk about it, but how do you as a Korean explain how, the Korean citizenry, the
Hmm.
citizens, the public, come
So
together in this way and do this?
mornings is not like a personal choice, but it's like an unspoken social expectation that everyone participates in some way, whether that's like a
Mhm.
public behavior or in media or like a really personal actions doing the charity funding. But for Koreans, it feels like emotion of this grief are
Mhm.
should be shared collectively. So
Mhm. Mhm.
there is like a strong cultural belief that even if I'm not directly affected, I must mourn together with the nation because it might happen to my family as well.
Mm. So
Hmm.
this grows out of Confucian
Yeah.
ideology or Confucian
Hmm.
culture, right? That the collective is really what's incredible, the most important thing. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow. No, it
And
feels, no, go ahead. Yeah.
there was a raise of people saying that why we should be doing this, like why we should have the pressure to do this.
Hmm.
This time there were some people like saying YouTubers should have the freedom to upload their videos because that is so related to their income. Like it's not like
Hmm.
normal people would go to their work, like they should make their money, but people were saying some bad some I mean they did not agree to this
They were
action.
questioning it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Right. So if I go to work, if I go to my job, whatever my job is, well, if my job
Mm-hmm.
is I'm a YouTuber, I communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember in the Halloween crush 2 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, in which so many people died. It's a very similar thing, a period of
Mm-hmm.
mourning. So this isn't a one-off thing. I mean, this is fairly regular when there's a big tragedy.
Yeah, exactly. And even for like the influencer and celebrities, they show like a big fund or charity to the victims
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
show their respect, and actually fans really love that action, and some fans
Mm.
follow the stars
Hmm.
and influencers. And even there was like a really interesting point this time in the airport crash, which was people um, paid to the cafes near Muan Airport first,
Hmm.
like prepaid for the victims to drink, I mean, use the cafe and restaurants freely. That was a new
Uh,
act.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so the
Mm-hmm.
people for the families who all came down and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so
And
I think the biggest thing, I mean, as I think about my country, right? And I
mm-hmm.
think about us trying to do this. I mean, there's just this community. It's just so very different here, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
communitarian moral orientation in Korea, this kind of sense of
Mm-hmm.
right and wrong is so much determined by what's right and wrong for the community.
Mm-hmm.
That it's so strong in Korea compared to in the United States and most countries of the West. And there's good and bad in this, but the good, this is a good side of it. The fact that a nation could come together and
Mm-hmm.
feel the pain, like the families, the victims, and not just the families, but all the friends, and you feel, you can feel held by
Yeah.
by
Mm-hmm.
an entire nation,
Mm-hmm.
through this.
Ex- And also, like, I was keeping an eye on the issue really closely, like who were the families and then who were the victims and how did the family act. And it really teared me out, seriously. And all the comments were saying, like, since there were so many family trips, it was near Christmas, we really
Hmm.
felt the pain like bigger.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel held by that, of course,
Yeah.
right? That's
Mm-hmm.
how it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's how with any tragedy in that way, when the community comes out for the tragedy,
Mm-hmm.
it's so valuable for people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think about that, here we had a just really tragic plane crash last week, and
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
and within hours it was politicized. And I think, wow, but this wasn't politicized in Korea, right? This
Not
tragedy. I
that
mean,
big of an event. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. No, it's like people just set their politics aside for a moment, and yeah. Well, well, that's cool. It's nice because I think this is one of those p parts of Korean culture that for me as a sociologist, I find so fascinating
Mm-hmm.
and so really thoughtful and interesting and cool. I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate it in the modern age uh
Mm-hmm.
how you as a nation can have a response like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And also for myself as well, I feel uh better if I show respect to this type of big tragedy, really. It
mm.
makes me show respect to the families.
And show respect to yourself and to existence and to the creator, the life force,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Really, yeah.
yeah, like why we take a moment and just bow our heads and say a prayer
Mm-hmm.
to whether it's whatever we believe in, a fate or a God or something. Just take a moment. It's really
Mm-hmm.
a very thoughtful thing. There's a lot of love and caring there, and in the end, we're all connected here. So let's
Yeah.
show that in a way.
So
Yeah.
I really want to learn like how other countries mourn in these type of big tragedy. That's not the case in the US, right?
Mm,
Is it?
yeah, no. And in other places. Well, we're going to have a conversation right now in my class about that and
Mm-hmm.
see what people say, what they have to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey,
Yeah,
so
I should
thanks.
definitely check out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll have to watch. Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, you are I enjoy, your assessment of
Mm-hmm.
things, and you and I have a really nice connection in that way. So,
Thank you so much,
yes.
Sam, as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you.